everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing another foundation review and I am super excited for this one because it's drugstore, it's extremely cheap, and I've heard super good things about it, and it's cruelty free. And if you are cruelty free as well, you probably know that there are not that many drugstore brands that are fully cruelty free, and it's hard to find good makeup products in drugstore that are cruelty free. So this is like something that I'm super excited about because I've heard great things about it. It is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation, and just from the packaging itself, it seems like really high quality because sometimes cheaper foundations don't get put in like glass cases, they get put in like plastic cases with like really cheap pumps, and they just seem super cheap. But the packaging with this seems really nice and sturdy and just kind of high quality to me. So this foundation retails for $5.99. I got it at my local Fred Meyer's. I believe you can get Wet n Wild at any drugstore, at CVS, Walmart, Freddy's. Those are the only drugstore. Walgreens, I think you can get Wet n Wild at, and of course you can order it online if you don't have any of those stores available to you. So the color range, I don't have the physical color range in foundations with me like I had the NYX Total Control drops. So here's just like a little photo showing all the different shades. It does go down pretty deep. The lighter shade, I got the lightest shade, Porcelain, and it's not like super pale. Like, it matches me, I think, pretty well. So that is kind of a red flag, just because usually the lightest foundation should be like 2 or 3 shades lighter than me. I am very fair, but I know that there are people who are a lot paler than I am. So that's a little bit worrisome that there aren't lighter shades than this, but we'll see how it goes. And also something that I noticed when I was buying this, in the store, they didn't have the darker shades for sale. I don't know if they were sold out. I don't know if they just don't offer the darker shades in store, which I wouldn't think that that would be the case because usually they have all the shades available in stores. But yeah, it was like a range of like 8 foundation shades, and it didn't go darker than like a medium tan, which is kind of weird to me. I was like, wow, does this not go any darker? But then I looked online and it actually has a couple really deep shades. So I was like, what is this about? But I don't know, maybe you'll have to order the deep shades online. Maybe they were just sold out when I went and looked at them. So as usual, when I do a foundation review, I haven't done a ton before, but when I do them, I always do check-ins throughout the day, and I'll do a final check-in at the end of the day after I've worn it for about 10 hours or so and give you my final opinion. So right now I'm going to show you me applying it, so let's zoom on in. So as you can see, I have a couple of red patches from my dermatitis that is almost gone, so I figured that will be kind of a good tester to see if this foundation covers that redness. And I did have a zit right here, but it's flat and kind of red, and I have like red dots all over my face. So we will see if it covers it up properly. I don't know much about this foundation. I don't know if it's dewy or if it's matte or if it's high coverage or medium coverage. Let's see what it says. All I really know is that it's supposed to be really good in photos, and it's supposed to not flash back in any lighting that you're in. It's supposed to look good with any sort of camera that you're taking your picture with. So I guess I'll be taking a couple pictures with and without flash to see if it works good with that. So first I'm going to start off by priming my face, and I'm using the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. This is one of my favorite primers. It just makes your face feel so smooth, and you can just tell that it's a really high quality primer. It just feels so good on your face. So as always, I'm going to be applying the foundation with a sponge on one side and a brush on the other side. So today I'm using the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I actually haven't used this sponge in a long time, but I thought today would be a good tester because it's also a drugstore sponge. And then on this side of my face, I'm using the Luxie 538. This is the flat angled blender brush. So first let's take a look at the bottle. This is what it looks like. Like I said, it just feels really sturdy. It's like a nice glass container, and the color looks pretty neutral from what I can see, which is what I like. I don't like it to be too yellow or too pink. So let's go ahead and open it. And I already knew this is what it was, but it's like a spatula applicator, which I don't know I don't know how I feel about that. I'm usually a pump girl, like I like it when foundations have pumps, but I've actually never had a foundation that has a spatula for an applicator. So you can apply this any way that you want, really. I'm just gonna take the spatula and put it straight to my face because this is my foundation and I'm not gonna be using it on anyone else. So it does look a little bit light, but usually when foundations spread out on me, they don't look as light anymore. So this is a damp sponge. I went ahead and wrung it under the sink a couple times, and I'm gonna use the flat side to blend this out. It smells chemically. It smells like paint, kind of, which normally drugstore foundations do smell like that, which I don't really like, but it's like, what are you gonna do? So it's not super duper high coverage at all. I would say it's medium. So I'm gonna try and build it up and see if it covers any more of that redness. So it did cover up pretty well the redness. It's definitely not a high coverage foundation, but I'm not complaining because I'm not a high coverage kind of girl. I never really reach towards the super high coverage foundations just because they tend to look a lot more cakey than medium coverage foundations. I like how it looks on my skin so far. It doesn't look cakey at all. It's not really dewy, but it's not matte. Like I can definitely feel it on my skin and I can feel it acting kind of like a dewy foundation, but it's not like overly dewy to where it looks greasy. Now I'm gonna try it with the brush. I feel like I'm definitely gonna like the Beauty Blender a lot more just because I normally go towards the Beauty Blender. It just has a more natural finish than a brush, but some foundations look better with a brush, so we'll see. So as I suspected, I'm definitely leaning towards the sponge side. It just looks a little bit cakey on the brush side. It didn't make the foundation any more high coverage than the sponge, I feel like. So I'm just gonna say that I like this foundation with a sponge a lot more. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then I will do a check-in in daylight so you guys can see the full-on details of my face and my pores and dry spots and all that. So let's get started. Rock on the mountaintop and I'm begging for your love. Do you remember the type of folk we used to be and the simple souls we used to see? Do you remember a fallen man with no escape? It seems he lives in yesterday. So this is what my face looks like in regular daylight. It's super, super dark today. The clouds are like so gray, so there's not much light coming through the window right now. But this is what my face looks like, and I'm very, very impressed with it. At first, when I was putting it on, I was just kind of like, meh. It's like an average foundation, your average drugstore foundation. But now that I'm looking at it, really observing it, it's like really, really impressing me. It looks like my skin. It doesn't look like there's a ton of foundation on my face, and it doesn't feel like there's a ton of foundation on my face either. I'm gonna insert some photos with flash and regular daylight and my filming lighting. And from what I could tell with the photography, It works perfectly fine with all types of photos and it just looks good. I really like the color match and I don't know, it just is really impressing me. It's only $6, so I was not expecting this at all. But yeah, I will go ahead and check back in a couple hours. It's about noon right now, so I might check back in around 3 or 4 the next time. I'm gonna go ahead and wear my glasses throughout the day too, just to see how the nose pieces react to the foundation. But anyways, I'll see you in a couple hours. So it's about 4:30 p.m. right now and the sun is about to go down. I see it just peeking over the building over there and I'm like leaning over because if I go over here then the sun will be in my face. But anyways. So I wanted to get one last check-in in natural lighting because I feel like that shows the details in my face the best. So the foundation is doing really, really well. I did have something to eat and I wiped the corner of my mouth, so my dermatitis is popping through a little bit right there. But my smile lines aren't creasing like extremely bad. There is a little bit creasing, but I've seen worse. Everything else looks pretty good to me. I haven't really noticed a difference in the color of the foundation. I heard that some people think that this foundation oxidizes a little bit. I haven't really seen any oxidization, but honestly, this has been exceeding my expectations of what I thought this foundation was gonna do. I never expect any cheap foundation to do like an outstanding job, but so far it's been outstanding. Nothing has moved. It is a beautiful like in between dewy and matte foundation and my face doesn't feel dry. Like when I did the NYX Total Control Drops foundation, my face just felt so extremely dry and this one, it just feels really, really comfortable. So I've been wearing it for about 4 hours and it's doing really well. So I'll go ahead and check in later on through the night and I'll let you know how it's going. Okay, so it is about 10 p.m. right now. I've had this foundation on for 10 hours almost exactly and I've been wearing these glasses for a few hours, so we will see what they look like when I take them off. So let's go ahead and zoom on in. I did put a lot of powder on the side of my nose to try to prevent it from coming off from the nose pieces. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? It actually held up really, really well with my glasses. Like it's just a little bit smudged, but it's not like completely off. So I think it did really well with that. And now I'm just gonna zoom you in even closer. So I'm gonna point out my smile lines did crease a little bit more. This one creased especially bad. It's always my left side that creases really, really bad. The sides of my nose are a little bit cakey and creased as well, which that usually happens when I'm wearing foundation. It feels still pretty good and nothing really feels oily. My nose doesn't feel oily, which usually it does feel oily by the end of the day. But other than that, you know, I think this foundation did a wonderful, wonderful job for 10 hours. It's definitely not the absolute best foundation I've ever used, but considering the fact that it is $6, it's drugstore, it's cruelty-free, I think that it was an A-. Not an A+, not quite, but I think that it was an A-. I think it did an outstanding job for its price. And my face still, like, yeah, you can zoom in on the creases on my face and you can look at the little tiny details, but overall my face still looks really, really good. It has a nice glow to it. I don't look oily, I don't look extra dry, and the color hasn't oxidized at all on me. I did hear that it has oxidized on some people before, but it didn't on me, so I don't know if it's with the darker colors or what. But yeah, like overall my face looks really, really good. I'm very happy with it. My one concern is the smell of it. I'm not too fond of the smell. It's a little bit chemically and smells like paint to me, but it goes away after you blend it out on your face and put powder on. You don't even smell it anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really, really liking it. I'm so shocked with how well this did on my face because it's so cheap. But anyways, I hope this video helped you guys out decide whether you want to get it or not. I would just go for it because it is $6. It's like so cheap and most likely it will do well on your face. Again, no, this is not a sponsored video. I always claim whether my videos are sponsored, so in your face. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I like it and I'm That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Is I like it, and I'm most likely going to be wearing it more often, and I will probably be purchasing it again if I run out of it because it's only $6. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys!